Ministers are hoping that the talks will give Britain some useful leverage against the EU as the two sides aim to draw up a Brexit deal before the end of 2020. The UK-EU trade talks are currently struggling over some key issues, including fisheries and competition rules. The Tuesday negotiations will see International Trade Secretary Liz Truss and U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer meet via video call, while around 100 officials listen in from both countries. It is understood that the first round of talks are set to last for about 2 weeks, while further rounds will take place around every 6 weeks. Truss has said that a trade deal between the UK and the US was essential to help lighten the economic toll of the COVID-19 outbreak. But she has also stated that she would drive a hard bargain with officials in Washington. According to the Department for International Trade, DIT, total trade between the US and the UK was valued at over £220 billion last year. In addition, the US was the recipient of nearly 20% of all UK exports. In a document released at the beginning of March, the DIT said, removing trade barriers with the U.S. could deliver huge gains, especially for the 30,000 small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs) across the UK already trading with the U.S. and open to opportunities to others. For example, the U.S. currently levies £451 million in tariffs on UK exports each year. The document adds that any trade agreement between the UK and the US would be geared towards fields such as global data flows and artificial intelligence. But other industries, such as food processing and car manufacturing, could also benefit. The DIT has also addressed concerns surrounding the future of the NHS as a result of a trade deal with the US. The department echoed sentiments made by Boris Johnson in the run-up to the general election late last year, that the NHS will not be on the table. It comes after claims made by then Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn to the contrary, according to an alleged document showing initial trade talks had already taken place. The Conservative manifesto denied the claims. UK standards of animal welfare, environmental protection, and food standards will also not be compromised, the DIT has claimed. UK-US trade talks will be overseen by Chief Negotiator Oliver Griffiths and DIT Chief Trade Negotiation Advisor Crawford Falconer. Meanwhile, the UK has blamed Brussels for limited progress made so far regarding a future trade deal between the UK and the EU. There have been concerns that a no-deal scenario would threaten the future of the UK's science sector, due in part to a lack of access to a €100 billion research funding scheme, Horizon Europe. But the UK has taken a tough stance regarding any sort of extension to the trade talks. The Prime Minister's spokesman said last month, "We will not ask to extend the transition. And, if the EU asks, we will say no. It would also keep us bound by EU legislation at a point when we need legislative and economic flexibility to manage the UK response to the coronavirus pandemic."